One life of many.
Subscribe for the next.
You are 17.
The longhouse is silent. The elders are watching you tonight. They've been watching since autumn, since the boar, since your eyes changed. In the old tongue, they are called Berserker, bear shirt, Odin's men.
You did not choose this.
They chose you. There is a difference. Not much. The ritual begins at sunset. 3 days. No food, no sleep, no light.
Day 1.
You hold the bear skull until your arms go completely numb.
Day 2.
A clay cup pressed into your hands. Bitter. Sweet. Wrong.
Henbane.
Some scholars say. Amanita mushroom, others argue. The debate lasts centuries.
Your heartbeat gets enormous.
It fills your chest, then it fills the room. Everything is far away and close at once. You stop recognizing your own hands.
Then it arrives.
Not slowly, the way lightning doesn't build, all at once.
Your jaw opens.
A sound comes out, not a word. The elders step back.
The bear pelt
Lands on your shoulders. It doesn't feel borrowed. It feels right.
The longships are in the water.
You don't remember walking to the shore.
793
AD. The island ahead is Lindisfarne. The monks there have never been raided.
You land first.
Your shield hits wet sand before the hull stops. A monk runs toward you, holding a wooden cross. You see the cross. You see the man. Neither one slows you. This is what the berserk state actually does. It removes the space between thought and action. Completely.
The monks at Lindisfarne heard you before they saw you.
Not a war cry, not language. Something animal that doesn't need words. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle recorded it this way. Heathen men miserably devastated God's church by looting and slaughter. That is the entire entry. Short, because words could not contain what happened.
Every source describes it identically.
Trembling first, then howling, then biting the shield rim. Byzantine historian Constantine VII documented berserkers in his Book of Ceremonies. Icelandic poets sang it. English monks scratched it into parchment. Everyone who survived long enough to write anything wrote the same line. We have never seen anything like this.
You do not feel the wound.
You checked. The blood is real. The bone may be cracked. The pain is somewhere behind glass, belonging to someone else. Adam of Bremen wrote it. They felt nothing during the frenzy. Modern researchers call it a combat dissociative state. The Vikings called it Odin's gift. Both are correct. If this story hit differently than you expected, drop a comment below. Tell me, could you have drunk that cup and stepped into the dark? Hit like so more people find this history. Subscribe. There are a dozen of these lives still waiting to be told. What happens when the rage breaks is still ahead. The Norse called it Hamask. The shapeshift. Not metaphor, not poetry. A literal belief. Your spirit could inhabit an animal form. The bear entered you. What remained was something between species. Armed with an axe, no hesitation, no self-preservation, moving toward whatever stood in front of it. That is what fought in your name today.
Berserkers were always placed at the front,
Not because they were the most skilled fighters, because the enemy, seeing them first, broke before the first blow. Fear was the actual weapon. The berserker was only its delivery method. Harold Fairhair kept 12 in his personal guard. Men he honored publicly, men he quietly feared himself.
Then it ends.
Not with triumph, not gradually, like a fever snapping at midnight. You are on the ground and don't know how you got there. Cold, shaking. The wound on your arm is screaming now. You are embarrassingly, desperately hungry. The sagas had a name for this part too. They called it the weakness.
Helpless for days.
Sometimes a full week. The same men who felt nothing in battle could not lift a sword. The rage had borrowed everything the body contained and left only the debt. Wounds found on berserker bodies in the sagas tell the math precisely. You survived things that should have killed you. Payment comes after.
Odin is behind all of this.
God of war, madness, and wisdom. A combination that only made sense in the 8th century. He gave berserkers the gift. He also owned them completely. Their lives and deaths both belonged to him. To go berserk was to become his instrument, his weapon made of breathing flesh.
The sagas say nothing about
Berserkers between raids. They appear in violence and disappear into silence. Some accounts suggest they farmed. Some married. Some walked away one day and no one followed. The man who became a bear at dawn went home and fed the animals by evening. That was the hardest part.
If you're still here,
You already know this channel is different. Subscribe. Don't miss the next one. Leave a comment. Which part of this story stopped you cold? The ritual? The crash? The law that made them illegal? I read every comment. Your answer shapes what story I tell next.
in Norwegian law,
Codes of the 11th century, going berserk in peacetime became illegal. 3 years banishment. The society that once worshipped these men now made them criminals. The world had converted to Christianity. The berserker had not. He was still exactly what Odin had made him. Rules had simply changed around him.
Snorri Sturluson
Described them in the 13th century. Warriors who howled like dogs, bit their shields, had the strength of bears. He wrote this 300 years after the last berserker lived. He had no living source, only sagas. Memory through mouths for 3 centuries, still exact, still frightened. The fear never fully translated out.
your name was never recorded.
No chronicle preserved it. You existed in the gap between myth and history. Too real for the poets, too strange for the monks. But every raid described, every monastery sacked, every shield wall broken, all of it moved through a body exactly like yours. You were the history, unnamed.